Yeah.
Exactly. So I say all of this because I actually was bringing it up early before my mic started going weird. But so our last podcast, I got off and I had a couple of encounters with a couple of gentlemen. The first gentleman was from a completely different culture than ours. He about 34, 35. He was a Caucasian male, and the guy was swole. I think his name was Johnny. And he mentioned something about like Comic Con and how he goes and he's dressed up as Thor and he get paid to go to certain Comic Cons as Thor. So he must have said something along the lines of he can't wait to go to like Japan or something like that. And I said I want to go to Japan too. So he freaked out, and the dude was almost at some point. He said like he wanted to cry because he felt like he never got a chance to like nerd out with nobody. Which for me it's like, damn.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
really when you really think about it, it's when they say what toxic masculinity is, they don't talk about all of the things that men suppress and gotta hide to appear to the world a certain type of way. This is a dude that's jacked, been in pro bodybuilder competitions, white guy. He says I, he had a rough childhood, almost like an abusive childhood. And the thing that he said saved his life was Goku.
Hey, nigga,
The
me
thing
too.
that the thing that he said that saved his life, he said he used to run to the woods and he used to like punch on trees and everything that he used to be so upset about. Like, and literally his I guess his outlet was going and watching these characters and trying to figure out how to be a man. Because if you didn't have a father in the home teaching you how to be a man, you got this guy named Goku teaching you about integrity. So that kind of like blew my mind to kind of like look at it from a different perspective, which is why I brung up the question how it's like, and I ain't want to get all sentimental in anything because that's just one part. And then is me and you, what we said, podcast clip, so that's resonating with a lot of younger audience.
Yeah, bro, because they literally or are most likely going through the same experiences that we did, type shit. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
That's
A young black nerd, probably father not in the house, trying to figure out the fuck his way in life, trying to grow, develop, and become into like mature into a man, trying to be strong, trying to hold his own. I got all that through anime, bro. Fucking
yeah.
Izuku Deku Midoriya. It's my favorite character in the world, bro. I'm pretty sure he's my spirit animal. That nigga is that nigga. I used to get bullied. I used to cry. Like I'm putting this on wax right now for my brothers right now, for everybody watching. Yeah. I used to be a crybaby, my nigga. You gotta toughen up. You gotta turn your masculinity into your own, man. Like you gotta become stronger. You gotta become mentally and physically stronger. And it takes a great deal of like adversity and going through it. It's not going through it. You go through it to grow through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how you level up, man. That's really how the fuck you become a man. So it was for me. It was Deku and Goku at a young age, man. He said the coldest shit. Nigga, my dad didn't teach me about responsibility. Goku said he said some shit about saving the world when he was fighting Harudagon. He said, "If I don't, who will?"
Mm.
Think of, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on,
So
man.
I was kind of like taken back, and I was just like, every week there's something. Every week there's a conversation that I'm having. Every week I'm on the phone with somebody, and they are going back to a time when it was simple and they was watching Toonami, and I was like, maybe I'm in an echo chamber at this point, and maybe I'm just slowly being surrounded by all of the people that like the same things that I like, but I'm just amazed. Like even with this podcast and everything, and where I'm trying to get it. Yes, it's the whole merchandise store, but the merchandise store is there to pay podcast bills because bills got to get paid. You know what I mean? But just having conversations and organic conversations with people like Johnny and seeing young men just flock to that portion of the podcast, it's like maybe this is something bigger. Maybe this whole anime thing is something bigger. Maybe it's getting bigger and bigger because maybe it's an escape from the world and the crazy world we living in. I didn't give you a chance to say anything. You got any thoughts to this?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I when I think about anime, I think about so I've been an artist my whole life. I love drawing my whole life, and I remember me and my homie, some of the first people we ever drew was Goku. We saw it on there and we would try to draw him, and like we used to go outside and try to power up. Like Goku, Dragon Ball Z anime made me believe that I could be something. It opened my mind to creativity. Like it made me feel like, yo, I can do that. Like I felt like I was unstoppable. There was nothing, there was nobody, there was like the world was my oyster, as they say. Like I felt like I could do anything because of anime. Like it inspires me. You said something about earlier about inspiring. So my daughter, she has a YouTube channel. She just made 30 subscribers the other day.
Hey.
I was so proud of her yesterday, and she was telling me about it, and I'm like, yo, that's awesome. And she was like, Dad, I love what you're doing with the anime. She's like, I want to come on, and she'd be like, if I come on, I want to wear my anime clothes. Like I saw how what it did for me, and to see what it's doing for my daughter, and how much she is like how she loves it, and she'll be like, oh, and she'll get to tell me about her favorite characters. Like anime, it opens up, it's conversation that can be started off of that. There's this whole podcast, there's the battles about who's stronger, all this stuff. Anime brings people together. Like it's a beautiful thing, man. I think
sense of community, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I was shocked because I continue to be shocked, like I said, not to beat a dead horse, but one of the Instagram posts I saw was Waka Flocka talking about Pokemon.
I seen.
And I was like, what the like I'm like, yo, this is Waka. So I'm not lying when I say Waka Flocka was talking about, I think, Ghastly or Ghostly or one of the two being like his GOAT when it comes to Pokemon. Gengar.
It was Gengar.
And I was just like, yo.
That's pretty dank. That's a pretty dank choice.
Yeah. I'm like, yo.
40, bro, you be having me questioning what was you paying attention to when we was growing up.
No, I'm telling the narrative and you stopping the story. This is for people.
Cut in sometimes, like as somebody that grew up with you, it'd be like, nigga, this is for shirts is 18, 19.
Listen. It's crazy for me because I became friends with these dudes from Chicago because they were more like me than not like me. I kind of found comfort in, I'm gonna give some shout outs. Maz, like, been rocking with Maz for 17 years. Shannon, if somehow he watches this, Keith Black, Brandon Baltimore. It's a lot of people that
call his brother out, he'll watch it.
Huh?
Call his brother out, he'll watch it.
Nah, I'm good. It was a lot of people that they saw me and they was like, you bro. They ain't know me, but then the more and more you just start discovering things, you start making these chain link connections. And for me, I say all of these things because I think going forward, outside of this, I kind of want to start a nonprofit based on anime, getting inner city kids to drawing, like Ray said, basing their life around not necessarily their life, but finding ways to involve themselves in anime, because I've never seen the protagonist be just, outside of Aaron, be just like a asshole and just bump the world. There's always the story of integrity and hard work. I'm out of shape like shit right now. And the more and more I get around anime and I see all of these guys working out and everything, and I'm like, I'm going to be like Goku. I'm a 34-year-old man. That's fucked up. But Goku is the thing that's pushing me to get back into shape. You see what I'm saying? Because it was the little fat kid back in high school watching anime saying, I'm going to get a stronger Goku. I wish I had a hyperbolic time chamber. Like,
hey, look, I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to be 32 this year. Last year, because Anime Riverside, there's a anime convention every year in Riverside. Last year I went and I literally met this nigga Sean Schimmel, bro. Like I got an autograph and everything. I turned into a little kid, bro. It was fucking amazing.
And it's the little things.
I met my hero, bro. It was fucking blew my mind, bro. Dead ass.
Miles, what about you? Anime. If he don't answer this, I'm gonna answer this for him.
You can answer it for me, nigga. You know my answer?
Go ahead.
No, I want to hear you answer that shit for me. What's up?
I think, all right, check this out. From a brother perspective, right? So, I'm gonna try to tell a story without going into details or the details that I know. So, Maz is from Chicago. Some people say they from Chicago, but really be from the suburbs. That's not Maz. Maz is from Chicago through and through. Growing up in Chicago, the way he grew up in Chicago, you're exposed to a lot. There's not too much of anything good growing up the way that you're being exposed to shit. But if I was to say there's a silver lining somewhere, being a person who loves to draw and a person that's in the animation, you look at these characters, and I think that's just end up being something that you want to do. Ultimately, you get lost in drawing. The things that go through your mind that can make you depressed, you start drawing them out. Make them characters. Emotions become figures. Figures become art. And that becomes an outlet to the things that you go through, So that's me. I feel like this is a great way to cope with shit. A way for you to escapism, where if you go through something, turning on an episode of Castlevania may be the thing that you watch. Right. And where you take away the worries of the world. You know what I mean? So that's me. That's how I feel you will respond. And I have to say, I only feel like I have to respond is because I still feel like you ain't acknowledged the little boy in you that say, you all right, I got you. That's just me. So
for the little boy in me, that's the one that draws all the time. Because when I was younger, I was so busy on, you know how it is. We so busy when you meet me, you're so busy on shit. I'm a man. So where like the things that you can enjoy in life, like anime, shit. Like y'all say, y'all don't have time to go through a whole series when I can knock out a series in a few days, knocking out 4 episodes a day. Throughout the day, not just in one sitting. Honestly, bro, I just enjoyed it. I had an older brother that was into comics, which led to me eventually getting into the cartoon aspect of the comics. And eventually, as anime came into the picture, it took over for what we consider cartoons. Because when I was growing up, Speed Racer was a cartoon. Lupin the Third was a cartoon. Those were things that was just on with the Hanna-Barbera set of cartoons before we were even introduced to Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. If I'm quite frankly, that Speed Racer was Hanna-Barbera time frame. So being introduced to anime from a standpoint of I can create that. You remember the first podcast we was doing, half the animation was me trying to recreate what the Simpsons would do with their cutscenes or how they do their promo. When they run across and they do the little promo thing and then they disappear. I know everybody remember them from the Simpsons cartoons back in the day. For the Fox promo. So a lot of that just meant down to me actually doing more of my own hands-on production and learning how to do it. Animation style. Because 2D animation is dead.
You think so? That's your hot take?
On a business standpoint, the financial aspect is too much of a burden for most companies.
Yeah, it's easier. It's so much easier.